Hi everyone, I'm doing my presentation on herpes, hence my beautiful sash. Hello, my name is Herpes. Herpes or herpes simplex virus is categorized into two types, HSV1 and HSV2. HSV1, also known as herpes type 1, is generally known as the cold sores of herpes. HSV2 or herpes types 2 is the STI that causes genital herpes. Who do I affect most often? Genital herpes is much more common in women compared to men. This is because infection through the genitals is more easily passed on from men to women versus woman to men during intercourse. On the other hand, my type 1 form is usually acquired in childhood. So you may be wondering, how prevalent am I? I have affected about 3.7 billion people worldwide under the age of 50 with my HSV1 version. It is estimated that 491 million people from ages 15 to 49 worldwide have contracted my HSV2 version. I would say I have done pretty well. Signs and symptoms of me. Oral herpes or type 1 herpes can present as open sores or painful blisters around the mouth. But I can also be hidden, whereas this type is mostly asymptomatic. These sores usually present themselves time to time, and how often you get them varies by every person. Genital herpes can appear as sores on the penis, scrotum, buttocks, vagina, and/or the anus. HSV2 can be asymptomatic as well, but a new infection may cause swollen lymph nodes, fever, and body aches. So if you don't mind, I'm going to include some selfies of me. You can see with the HSV1, it's typically around the mouth. And for the HSV2, it's on your genitals. So how do I travel from place to place? The transmission of herpes type 1 is mostly from contact with the infection in saliva or from sores. It can also be transmitted to the genital area through oral sex, which would cause genital herpes. HSV2 is transmitted through intercourse, through contact with genital or anal surfaces that are infected. This infection can be spread to others even if that person is infected and has no symptoms, such as the sores. So, how am I diagnosed? A HSV nucleic acid amplification test, or NAAT, works best at diagnosing herpes. So, why would you want to get rid of me? There is no cure for either type of herpes. However, antiviral medications can help to reduce the frequency and severity of herpes symptoms. And a daily use of the antiviral medications work to reduce the chance of transmitting herpes to a partner. Prevention. Those with oral herpes should not engage in oral sex or other oral contact with others. People with both types of herpes should abstain from sexual activity when symptoms are present. HSV1 and HSV2 are still contagious when there are no symptoms, but others are at highest risk for transmission when sores are present on the one infected. Condoms also help to prevent transmission. Do I have a partner in crime? I do not co-infect with anything per se, but I do increase the risk of HIV. Genital herpes causes a 2 to 3-fold increase for HIV infection. Sores and lesions from HSV-2 cause a greater risk for someone to contract HIV. Have I infected anyone famous? It has been reported that famous singers Usher, Britney Spears, and Kevin Gates have herpes. Emotional dimension of wellness. Herpes has a big impact on the emotional dimension of wellness. Many people tend to look down upon others with herpes and may even try to avoid them. This also brings hardships when the infected person is attempting to find a partner to engage in consensual intercourse. The majority of people would likely decline any sexual relations with the infected person, and this may bring one's self-esteem down, and in some cases, they may become sexually frustrated. How am I different, and why should I win? Herpes is different than other STDs, as I am one of the few sexually transmitted infections that has no cure. Also, herpes has affected the most people other than HPV, and I should be crowned Miss STD as I am stealthy because my symptoms come and go. There is no cure for me, and I have affected about half of the worldwide population. And there are my references.